Well, hello there, and welcome to episode 26 of the podcast Jump Into Success. Okay, let's get going. Well, hello there. I hope you are well. Welcome to episode 26 of the podcast Jump Into Success. And here we are. Would you believe it? We're already halfway through January, the first month of 2025. And I guess what we would probably encourage you to do is think, okay, we're halfway through the first month. What's been happening? Have a bit of a mini review, as it were. Are we still making progress towards our stated outcomes and goals? And just kind of check in with yourself, saying, am I going in the right direction? Or is there some feedback that I need to take notice of and adjust accordingly? That might be something worth looking at. Fortunately, here in the UK, the weather's begun to warm back up again. We had a very, very cool spell and a lot of rain and flooding, but it's beginning to improve slightly, so that's a good thing. And then I think the economy seems to be turning a little bit as well, so maybe some green shoots and some good news on the horizon. Now, one of the things that we always talk about is having the skills for success. You know, it's all very well to say you want to be successful, you want to build a business, create a successful life for yourself or your family, but you need the skills to do that. And in the week, we recorded a webinar about gaining the skills for success. 7 of them, in actual fact, 7 skills for success. And we had such great feedback from that broadcast, we thought, actually, let's share it with our podcast listeners as well. So this week's podcast is the recording from that webinar, Get the Skills for Success, with an emphasis on AI, but not AI as you know, as in robots, but AI is in, something else. And if you listen to the podcast, you'll see what we're getting at. Now, you'll be able to download the slides. There'll be a link in the show notes. So you'll be able to download the slides and follow along if you so wish. And I think you'll enjoy this. Let us know what you think. Here we go. Hello there. I hope you are well. And I guess I should say Happy New Year. We're still doing that, I think. So Happy New Year to you. And if you're watching this live, be sure to say hello. You can ask as many questions as you like in the comments box. We're going out live on our YouTube channel or Facebook page, and also on my personal LinkedIn account. So if you're watching live, hello, great to have you with me live. And I can never tell if people are watching live, of course, because it's just a streaming. It's not even one of our normal webinars. It's just a live stream, and we're just going out into the universe to say hello and to share some information with you that is based on the last few, I guess, trawl of questions that have come in around coaching, NLP, generalized personal development. A bit of leadership questions were there as well. So myself and the team, we sat around and we sort of looked at all these, and we thought, well, let's do a bit of a broadcast answering some of those key questions. But if you have an additional one, just put it in the comments. And I'll be able to respond to it. So I've got a couple of slides to help me stay on the straight and narrow. Forgive my cough. It's one of those tickly things that I seem to have picked up in the last few days. So get the skills for success. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we'll find out in a second. But the sort of subheading, if you will, is why studying NLP and coaching gives you the AI edge. And we'll talk more about that as we go through. So I guess when we talk about the skills for success, we should ask that kind of question. Well, what the hell are the skills for success? And it's kind of one of those questions that you could get lots of different answers, I'm guessing. But there have been a couple of studies recently, and this is what comes out, the 7 key skills for success in the modern world. So communication skills, that seems important. And we're going to go through all of these in a bit more detail in a second and show you how NLP and coaching fits with these key skills. So communication, emotional intelligence, certainly that's going to help. Flexibility of behavior and indeed thinking. Problem-solving skills, pretty key, I would think, in the modern world. Leadership skills, both as a team, but also self-leadership. We talk about that in personal development a lot, leadership of self. Goal setting and coaching skills, again, key things that you need for success in the modern world. And of course, then finally, one of the things in many ways that holds it all together, this notion of critical thinking, something that's actually missing, I think, in a lot of discourse in our popular press. Now, what I'm going to argue in this broadcast is that these key skills, communication, emotional intelligence, etc., are all encompassed in this, which is the 4 pillars of NLP, or I often call them the 4 pillars of success. And that is rapport, the ability to get on with people and create a rapport for relationship, being outcome orientated in your thinking, having a sense of acuity, not projecting your stuff onto other people or a situation, and importantly, flexibility, this flexibility of behavior and of thinking in how we approach. And if you imagine this is a Greek temple, you're looking side on, there's a foundation here, the presuppositions of NLP, or as I often refer to it, and I think I do later on in this presentation, the philosophy for success, or a personal philosophy for success. So that's what I'm going to argue as I go through this presentation. So first off, communication skills. Now, in no matter what walk of life, whether you're working in a big organization or in a small team, or even on your own, is like, self-employed, it could be anything, or just generalized in life. The ability to communicate pretty much at all levels is really the cornerstone for success. Be it, be in the shops, in the post office, wherever it is, the ability to communicate is key to success. We would say enhancing in whatever way you can, this ability or this skill is going to enable you to be more successful generally. Now, with that in mind, we have the NLP model of communication. And, we teach that on our programs. And this not only teaches you what the model is, but how it works and how you can use the ideas contained in this model to improve your communication skills, your ability to influence others, to get your point across, to give a presentation maybe with passion and determination, to influence people to give you funding perhaps, or to give you an extra pay rise. Who knows what it is? But the ability to communicate is super, super important. Now, taking that to the 4 pillars, of course, the idea of rapport, we're getting on with people, we have a relationship, we're outcome thinking. So that's important when we're communicating. What's our message? What do we want? What's the result? What result do we want? And flexible, we're flexible in how we approach it. So in many ways, that is part of what we're saying here. One of the key skills for communication, for success, is communication, and contained within NLP, and certainly the 4 pillars as well, and the communication model, we would be able to have that. Now, the next one is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is this idea that we recognize and manage our emotion in ourselves, but also in others, and we're sensitive to that. We have a sense of empathy. The real key thing here is about self-awareness. Self-awareness. I'm aware of my own state, how I'm feeling, and what that's all about. And again, going to the 4 pillars, this is about rapport. I'm in rapport with myself. People who've got poor, emotional intelligence or not great self-awareness tend to be out of rapport with themselves. They're uncomfortable in their skin. And they're focusing on the problems that they've got usually. They're not outcome or solution orientated. And they're quite rigid, as they don't have that sense of flexibility in life generally. Which leads on to the third thing, which is flexibility. Now, today's modern workplace, and even life generally, is pretty dynamic. Things are changing a lot. We mentioned AI already, right? AI and computers and different things happening in the workplace and in society generally. Now, it's our ability to respond in a positive way to these changing circumstances is what demonstrates whether we're flexible or we're really rigid and we don't want to bend and twist and no, this is how we do things around here. We're allergic to the idea of learning new skills or embracing innovation to see how it can help us or our team or our business or our lives. And I think experience has shown us that, those people who quickly adapt to new ideas, technologies, and procedures are really the ones who are valued and are generally successful. And when we talk about flexibility, of course, it is one of the key pillars of success. One of the key pillars of success. When the pandemic came along as an example, we all had to be very flexible in how we worked and how we operated. Working from home, the whole college here suddenly had to go online. Very, very flexible. Now, when we talk about flexibility, of course, we talk about behavior, but also our thinking. Also our thinking. Are we rigid in our mindset? Closed mindset or fixed mindset? Or is it a growth mindset? So flexibility of behavior and thinking are key to success. And again, excuse me, one of the pillars of success. That brings us on to number 4, which is problem-solving skills. Now, problem-solving skills are very, very important in the workplace because the modern world throws up lots of challenges and ways of solving things. And how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, people who are good at solving problems tend to be resourceful, have a reasonably logical and procedural or proactive way of thinking. They can stand back and be critical about things, evaluate what's really going on here, not just look at the symptoms or the high level. They can go deeper. So problem-solving skills are super important. Now, when it comes to problem solving, NLP has got a bucket full, a wheelbarrow full, we might say, of models and approaches that will help us to create this strategic and kind of mindset of being able to look for ways forward whenever there's an issue or a problem that needs solving. Now, a couple of models spring to mind. SCORE is brilliant for this, or logical levels of change. One of my favorite 2 models, certainly logical levels. And once again, the 4 pillars are key to this success, because why would I say that? Well, when it comes to problem solving, we need to be clear about the outcome that we want, so outcome-oriented thinking. And acuity, I've not mentioned that too much so far, but acuity is important. Now, what do I mean by acuity? It's the ability to see what's really there and not project our own stuff or experience onto a particular situation, especially when it comes to people rather than, a machine or something. And then finally, of course, flexibility of behavior and indeed thinking helps us find a way forward. Then we move on to number 5, which is leadership skills. Now, leadership involves motivating, inspiring, influencing maybe people around us or a team to move forward to the next level, or maybe a performance, get a particular project done. But also it's about self-leadership. In personal development, we often talk about self-leadership. Who am I? Where am I going? What example am I to others, to myself? The people who are effective in a leadership position, they've got strong communication skills. They're able to make decisions. They're good at problem solving, but also they're great at collaborative working. And more important, they generate that notion of trust. I trust you to lead us to the place we want to go. I'm trusting you to make that decision. I'm trusting you to really communicate the ideas in such a way that we'll all buy into it. So leadership skills, again, very, very important in the modern world. Excuse me. Now we're at number 6, goal setting and coaching skills. Well, if there's one thing NLP and indeed coaching are all about, it's about the future. It's about what do you want? Where do you want to go? It's not about lying on the therapy couch. Oh, tell me more about your mother. It's not that. The NLP model or notion of well-formed outcomes is essential when you're doing a goal setting, either for yourself or within a coaching session, or maybe organizing your team, or maybe your organization or your small business. Who knows what it is? But what is it that you want? What is it that you want? What does that look like? What will that do for you? What resources are required? How will you know you're being successful? What will you see, hear, and feel? All of those key, well-formed outcome type questions that you would have within a coaching context, or just a one-to-one goal setting process that you might have. And as you can see here, outcome is one of the key pillars of success. Now, but within that, though, flexibility also plays a part. So we're very clear about where we want to go, but we're flexible in our approach. We're able to tack, just like the boat going across, the ship going across the ocean, tacking against the wind. But also acuity is important. We see what's really there. We see the opportunity. We don't get tripped up by our own anxieties or shortcomings or imposter syndrome or any of those type of things. And then we're in rapport with ourselves and our team to make sure that we move forward in an appropriate way. And then finally, number 7, critical thinking. Vital skill in the modern world, because the world is full of information coming at you. I think as Tony Robbins says, we live in a world that's drowning in information, but maybe starving for wisdom. Because there's a lot of information, and a lot of it, let's be honest, is nonsense, or even less a pack of lies. And so critical thinking, how do you know that? What's the evidence? Let's have some specificity of evidence, really understanding what's going on. And would help us with that, the 4 pillars. But more importantly, in NLP, of course, we have the most important of the language models in my mind, which is the meta model, the specificity of a statement. How do you know that? What is the evidence? Who said that? How do they know? How do you know what you say? Evidence. And then, of course, all of the other things about flexibility and how we ask those questions, acuity to see what's really, really there, being outcome orientated, and of course, rapport. All of these things come together. Now, we mentioned about the presuppositions of NLP, and I often refer to them as the philosophy for success. This notion of a philosophy for success, or I often say a personal philosophy, because you've got to believe it for yourself. Now, I've just picked out a couple, as you can see here, a few of the presuppositions of NLP. Now, what I want you to do, if you're watching this live or you're watching the video later, and I know lots of you do watch the videos later, is to really think about this. Maybe even jot them down and think, if I really believe that, really believe this, what would that mean to me? There is no failure, there is only feedback. Now, this is one of the things that changed my life. I thought, I'm going to really believe this is true. Well, I quit school with very little qualifications and went out into the world. I wanted to earn some money. I learned pretty quick that that's a tough thing to do. So there were lots of knocks, or you might call failures. And after a while, that can grind you down. Like, well, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. But there is no failure. There is only feedback. And if you take that on as a belief for yourself, a truism, that's okay. That changes your mindset very quickly. Things don't work out. That's all right. What can we learn from this? The old saying used to be, if at first you don't succeed, try again. We go, yes, but we want to change that. If at first you don't succeed, try again, but differently, based on the feedback. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always had. People often say they want to make improvements in their lives, they want to change their life, they want to grow their business, they want to do something different, have something different in their life, but then they don't change. They don't change. And somehow they expect things to change around them because they somehow mentally want it or emotionally want it. If you want something new in your life, you've got to do something new. And that includes changing your behavior and, of course, your thinking. The person with the most flexibility of behavior will control the system. The person with the most flexibility of behavior will control the system. Now, this comes from systems thinking, but actually, it's a very interesting kind of idea here. The more flexibility of behavior you have, the more likely you are to be successful, is what this indicates. And we've already seen that flexibility is one of the key pillars of success. It's not what happens that makes the difference. It's what you do with it. Not what happens that makes the difference. It's what you do with it. As a good book says, it rains on the wicked, but also the righteous. Stuff happens in life. You will stub your toe. You will spill the milk. Now, it's how we react to that. We have a choice how we react to things. Do we go, oh, it's the end of the world, the milk is spilled? Or we go, oh, well, let's mop that up. I've got to get on and get to work. It's about our mindset. Are we disaster focused, catastrophizing in our head, ever shrinking, smaller world, or bigger world? A lot of opportunity. The thing about personal development, of course, is, well, what is success? Success is preparedness and opportunity meeting. The person who's not prepared trips over the opportunity and curses it. That's what personal development is all about, getting us ready, sharpening up those senses, all those skills, so that we're ready to act when the opportunity presents itself. That's the reward of personal development. And then finally, in this presupposition thing, if you want to understand, act. The learning is in the doing. Learning is in the doing. You can't learn to drive a car by reading a book or watching a video. You've got to get in the car and feel it. Learning is in the doing. Learning is in the doing. So that's just an example of what I'm talking about, this philosophy for success, or a personal philosophy for success. This is just a sample of the presuppositions that we teach on our program. Now, I mentioned about AI. AI is a big thing in the world at the moment. The Prime Minister was talking about it the other day. It's going to change all our lives, and I'm sure it is. And I'm sure some of it will be scary for some of us, a little bit for me. We've all seen the movies, but I think some of it may be really helpful too. A lot of medical breakthroughs I think I've seen a few things in the news where they've used AI to figure out cures for cancer and other things like that. It's all super fantastic. So when I talk about AI within personal development, I'm talking about advanced intelligence. Advanced intelligence. And that comes from the skills for success. That not only do I know them, I've read the book, I've been on the course, but I walk them. They are part of who I am. Part of who I am. It's in our muscle. It's not just a kind of an idea. Oh yeah, I kind of know that stuff. No. It's like when you're learning to drive the car, it's 10 to 2, 10 to 2, mirror signal maneuver. But after a while, you just jump in, you drive, you turn up at your destination, you don't even think about it. It's advanced intelligence. It's inbuilt. That's what the skills for success are. You've got to build them in, put in the effort so that they become part of who you are. I'll talk about NLP and coaching. So we've got at the end of next month, the end of February, our brand new spring program starts. It's an 18 or a 20-day live online training program. It's accredited by the ANLP, the AC, and the IANLP. And it includes, and people ask for this, so I thought we would mention it, it includes the first aid and mental health for coaches and practitioners. You get a year's free student membership of the Association for Coaching, a year's full professional membership of the ANLP, that's the Association for NLP. We have a business development program to help you build your practice if that's what you so wish. Your free listing on our coach directory, that's Coach Finder. Become a member of the college, which gives you discounted insurance and ongoing CPD and supervision events. If you're interested in that, be sure to get in touch. And then any questions. Now, if you're watching live, please feel free to pop a question in the box. Happy to answer those. Or you can email in at info@ukcpd.co.uk. And one other thing I'll mention, across the bottom here, you'll see the Be Inspired group, Think Big, Jump into Success, UKCPD-TV, and the Coaches Growth Club. They're all other things that we present on our website. Be Inspired group is a free membership for personal development. The journal is on our website as well, different articles every week. Jump into Success is the podcast. UKCPD-TV is lots of videos on our website. And the Coaches Growth Club is our, exactly what it says, help coaches build their business. Okay, so that's all of that. Now, I've got one other question that somebody had asked. Let me just remove those things. What happens when I register for your NLP practitioner and coach training program? Well, what happens is you've got instant access to loads and loads of videos and other content that we think is foundational learning, the kind of stuff you might want to know before you start the course. Who's who, the history of, some key language and descriptive things. So many of these things have kind of their own vernacular, their own language. Things that we think are useful, the history part in particular, I think is useful, and who's who, before we start the course live. And then the other thing, of course, is you get a pack in the post. You get the student pack. And what is the student pack? Well, you get this whole pack in the post. You get all of the dates and the assignments that will be required for the qualification. You get our notebook to keep your notes. And, of course, you get our training manual in the post. You also get a pen and a pin for your badge if you wanted to do that as well. So that's what you've got. Now, let me just check off if there are any questions. Can't see any coming in. So I'm going to guess that there probably isn't, that there are not a lot of people watching live. But, you know, if you're watching later on the video, which I know most people do watch the videos afterwards, please feel free to ping us a message, info@ukcpd.co.uk, or just give us a call. Give us a call anytime. Our phone number is obviously all over our website. Okay, if there are no questions, I'm going to wrap up. As always, it's a pleasure to share this information with you. I hope you are well, and I wish you every success for the rest of 2025. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, and bye for now. Okay, well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure you will have, because actually, you know, it's pretty clear. Once you've got the skills and you've got a clear direction and clear goal of where you want to go, then that's going to make it much easier to create success in your life or your business, and so on. Now, remember, you can download the slides. The link is in the show notes. And if you've got any questions about any of that content, please feel free to get in touch in the usual ways. Upcoming, we have some interviews lined up with some really, really cool people. So be sure to subscribe. And we're going to try and do some different things going forward as well, and have maybe even a couple of live broadcasts where we're looking at how we might do that as well. Okie dokie. In the meantime, you guys take care of yourselves, and I will catch you on the next episode. Till then, keep on smiling. Bye for now.